Okay, 5 vegetables I've never tried before moving to Britain as an American. I'm getting this one from Girl Gone London, link in the description below. Let's check this out together. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Hope you're having a wonderful day. All right, your island girl is back. So let's get straight into this video because I want to see these vegetables that she have never had in the US before she moved to Britain. Here we go, right about now.
Hi and welcome back to the Girl Gone London channel. Today I'm revealing 5 fruits and vegetables that I had never eaten before moving to the UK. This is going to be kind of embarrassing, but here we go. Number 1, swede. Let's start with the most confusing vegetable on here, swede. In America, if you know this vegetable at all, you probably call it a rutabaga. I had never even had a rutabaga, though I had heard of it, but I'd never eaten one in the US. The Brits call it Swede, which is short for Swedish turnip, even though it's not actually from Sweden and it's not really a turnip either. The first time I encountered Swede was at a traditional Sunday roast. My British friend's mom served up this pile of orange stuff alongside the potatoes, and I stared at it like, "Ooh, what is that?" I did ask in a polite way, and she said, "That's Swede," as if it was obvious. Swede is actually purple and cream on the outside, bright orange on the inside, and it has like a very waxy skin. When you first see them in the shop, they look a bit intimidating if you don't know what to do with it. They're usually pretty large, and they are fundamental to British Sunday roast in a way that Americans can't even really comprehend. You've got to have Swede. In America, we have our potato obsession. Mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, French fries, whatever. In Britain, they do love potatoes. I'm not going to say they don't, but Swede is like the potato's sophisticated older sibling. And the flavor is really where Swede shines. It's got a subtle sweetness that's different from potatoes. It's kind of earthier, and when you roast it, it caramelizes beautifully. When you mash it, it's creamy, but with a bit more character than potato. And when it's part of a traditional neeps and tatty situation, that's mashed Swede and potatoes for the uninitiated. It creates a really good balance of flavors that somehow makes both vegetables better. Now, in America, Swede, or rutabaga as we called it, is treated like an exotic specialty item in a lot of places that you might find at a farmer's market if you're lucky. And the more I learned about Swede, the more I realized it was a perfect example of how geography and history shape cuisine in ways we don't even think about. Swede thrives in cold, wet climates. Ding, 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 Britain. It stores very well through the winter, it's packed with vitamins, and it grows in soil that might not support other crops. For centuries, based on my research, it was probably keeping British families fed through harsh winters. Americans just relied on different survival foods. Now, next on my list,
never heard of Swede before. I don't think I've ever had Swede before. So, because I was like, what is going to be on this list that she has never had in the US that she goes to Britain and try? But I think I'm guilty with this one because she's like, it's like a potato, but it's orange and it has a sweet taste to it. And I don't recall ever having anything like this before to eat, to be honest with you. So that's one down for me. But I want to try it. Just the way she described it, I'm like, sounds good. I'll definitely try it when I get there.
Is parsnips, because this is, again, where America let me down. In America, if you know parsnips, they're probably something you remember from a fancy restaurant, or maybe you buy them in the organic section of Whole Foods. But in Britain, again, parsnips are everywhere. They're in every supermarket, they're on every roast dinner, and British people talk about them in the same way Americans would talk about something like carrots. They're just a basic fact of life. Now, parsnips apparently are enjoyed in America, despite the fact that I had never had one there. But they didn't get huge until the 20th century. Early American settlers grew them extensively, and they were a staple crop, but I wasn't alive then. Somewhere along the way, probably around the time potatoes became cheap and widely available, Americans just stopped eating parsnips. Meanwhile, Britain kept the tradition alive, and again, the first time I had proper roasted parsnip was a revolution. My British flatmate was making Sunday lunch and tossed these things in a pan, and again, I'm like, what are these? There's so many new things to try. They kind of looks like white carrots, but they weren't. They were way better. Roasted parsnips are sweet. They're kind of nutty. And again, they caramelize in the best way. The inside becomes very creamy. And it's kind of like if you roast it properly and it caramelizes properly, it's kind of like dessert in a vegetable. The flavor is very complex. It's sweet, but it's also got like a honey type of taste, maybe I would describe it as. And also you can do more than just roast them. You can make parsnip soup. You can make parsnip chips. They even make parsnip wine, which I've never tried, and it sounds very medieval, but apparently is quite good. Parsnips are actually more nutritious than things like carrots in many ways because they're loaded with fiber, potassium, and vitamin C. They also grow well in cold climates. Are we seeing the trend here? They store for months. They're a perfect winter vegetable. And yeah, Americans weren't really into them for a long time, and I had never had one in the USA. Next up on my list.
Never had parsnip. Right now, I'm thinking, ouch. I'm like rolling in the same boat, but now she's had it, but I'm just like, I'm rolling in the same boat. I've never had parsnip before. She said they're kind of sweet, like with a honey taste to it. You roast. Just the thought of it makes me feel good. I know it's good. That right there is crazy. Just the way she described it and the nutritional value that comes from it. Baby, I've been yamming that from left. I've been chugging that down. So that's the second one on her list that I've never had before. But then she said the trend, as you can see, cold, wet climate, it's thrive. That's where it grows. So I can see why. It's a part of your thing. It's a part of your culture. I can see why. And Americans don't give up easily too. They're not going to just say, listen, if we can plant something, once it grows, it don't even have to have any nutritional value. Once we can eat, that's it for us. Let's hear number 3. I can't believe I haven't had any of these before. Let's go. Here
is gooseberries. These little green berries were actually once enormously popular in America. We're talking the early 1900s, though.
Oh.
So in the early 1900s, every self-respecting American garden has gooseberry bushes, and gooseberry pie was as American as apple pie. Yes, I know America didn't invent apple pie, but we do like it. Then something went very wrong. The problem was something called white pine blister rust, which is a disease that affects both gooseberries and white pine trees. Since white pines were economically important for lumber, the federal government basically declared war on gooseberries, banning the growing them in many states. They're really good in a crumble. They're very tart, almost shockingly so if you're not prepared, but it kind of starts like sour, then goes a bit fruity. But there are dessert gooseberries that are sweet enough to eat fresh, as well as cooking gooseberries that would go in like a jam or a pie. You have red gooseberries, purple gooseberries, white gooseberries, and they've got all different types of names. And the British have maintained the gooseberry culture that America lost. Gooseberries ripen in early summer, which is perfect when Brits are desperate for fresh fruit after a long winter. And there's a whole tradition of Gooseberry Sunday, the first Sunday in June, when families would go out to pick the first ripe gooseberries of the year. And that brings me to another.
Never had gooseberry before. Never heard of gooseberry before. And it's crazy. It's like she's like, oh, you have a tradition when the family goes when the summer kicks in and the first ripe one, you go, oh, I like that. But she said it's kind of tart, but you still get, but you have different kind. You have purple, you have strawberry. I'm like, okay. But it seems to me it's like grape on the other hand for me, because the way she described it, I'm like, okay, you're describing grapes for me. You know what I mean? But I know it's not grapes. And like she said, I now know that America did not invent the apple pie. But oh boy, do they love to eat an apple pie. So that's 3 on the list that I've never had before. And I'm eager and excited to try. Gooseberry sounds yum though. Ain't gonna lie. Okay.
fruit that I hadn't tried, which has a similar story, blackcurrants. So these are small, dark purple berries that have a ton of vitamin C. And again, they were once grown commercially in America until the federal government banned them.
Yeah.
Blackcurrants can also carry white pine blister rust. So in the early 1900s, the US government decided no thank you to the blackcurrants because it was destroying the lumber industry. The ban was eventually lifted in most states, but America had kind of lost the taste buds for them. We forgot blackcurrants existed while Britain had turned them into a cultural institution.
Yep.
There's a drink here called Ribena, which is a British blackcurrant drink that's basically the national beverage of childhood. Again, you can also have blackcurrant jam, blackcurrant tea, blackcurrant yogurt. It's a very, very popular flavor. There are blackcurrant farms across the country, blackcurrant festivals, and different blackcurrant varieties. And the flavor profile of blackcurrants is something that many Americans don't have a reference point for. The closest thing might be Concord grapes, but blackcurrants are even more complex and more tart than those. And the last thing on my list is
love me some blackcurrant. Love me some Ribena. My whole family loves it. We listen, cost me $14, almost $15 US just for a bottle of Ribena. But it is worth it in my eyes. Since you guys had me go and try it, I can't stop buying because my family won't stop asking for it. But I've never had the jam. That's the only thing that I see in the store. They don't have jam. They don't have blackcurrant jam. I've never seen blackcurrant jam. I know I'm going to have to look for it, but I've never seen it before on the shelves. But interesting, you have even it in yogurt. I wonder what that tastes like. Yeah, I would try that. The jam, the yogurt. I can see myself trying blackcurrant because I love it. It's yeah, and I know the nutritional value behind it. Yeah, love me, love me some blackcurrant. So that one I know I've had, and it's amazing.
elderflower. Both America and Britain have elderflower. It's the creamy white flowers of the elder tree bloom in both countries. It happens every summer, but Britain has really embraced this while America hasn't as much, because these flowers can be turned into very refreshing drinks and desserts. My first elderflower education began at a wedding when someone offered me an elderflower drink. It kind of looked like a glass of cloudy lemonade, and they said, try this. It's elderflower. And again, I said, I have no idea what that is. Why am I so confused still? I thought that America and Britain were pretty similar. Elderflower has this very floral flavor that's very sweet and perfumey, but it's not too overwhelming. It's a very summer drink. There's a little bit of like a honey taste, and there's a little bit of tartness, but it's kind of like a champagne-like sophisticated drink. But then you can also put it in desserts. There's elderflower cake, elderflower ice cream, elderflower panna cotta. It's a very traditional flavor, but it's very seasonal. You have maybe a 3-week window in late spring when the flowers are perfect. They need to be fully open, but still fresh. I've actually been foraging for elderflower one time with a British friend in the countryside, which was a very fun experience. And as I mentioned, elderflower also grows in America. Elder trees grow wild and they bloom every spring with the same creamy flowers, but in America, often people will ignore them. They're just another tree. We don't take them as much and turn them into these drinks and desserts like they do in the UK. And so this is something that I had never tried before coming to the UK, along with my other 4 examples. So that brings me to the end of this video. Comment below on which one surprised you the most. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Bye, Mama. Okay, elderflower, have no clue what have no clue whatsoever what that is. First time hearing about it. But just the way she said it, I'm like, sophisticated, brother. She's like, at a wine tip, you got the drink, you got the wine, you got the cake, it's a posh kind of style. I'm like, intriguing. Now I'm intrigued. I want to try it. So far, 4 of them I did not know. First time hearing about them, and I've never had them. The only one on the list is the blackcurrant that I've had, and it's the Ribena. That's it, pretty much. But I'm like, okay, that's an interesting list. I gotta be honest with you guys. Never in my wildest dream that I would sit here and like, okay. Well, like her, I'd be like, okay, things I've never had until I come to the UK. But I see where she's coming from. It's like there's so many similarities between the two countries. You'd think that certain fruits or veggie, you know, of course, I've seen, I've heard, I've tasted, but that's not the case. And here I am, not born and bred in the US from Jamaica, and I've never had these as well. Yes, ma'am, you can. Let me have it. That to me right there is something. So I'm like, okay. So these are on my list of things to try when I do get there. That's for sure. Kyra, nothing more to eat, please. Nothing more to eat, Kai Kai. Love you. Yes, guys. It's 6, almost 7 p.m. here. Nothing more to eat for her for the night. It's the island girl and I'm running out of here. Be good, be kind, be safe. Don't forget to hit the like, hit the subscribe button. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for coming in. On my regular schmegular's day, one city by city post. Thank you for always hanging with your girl. Your girl love you to the max. Let me know that what you have had on the list and if you are in agreement with her on the taste and the way that it is. Let me know in the comment section. I'm looking forward to reading your comments and responding. Love you guys to the max, and I'll definitely catch you guys in another video. Bye.
Bye. Subscribe to the channel.
Thank you, Raya.